All right, Michael here to give you an update on the latest on what's going on out there in the weather community. As you can see today, we seem to have sort of a quieter day today across areas of the country. We do have a slight risk and effect for northern parts of the country and areas of southern Georgia into northern Florida, but we're still going to have that risk of severe weather that's possible. And that's something we got to look out for. Tornado threat. Nobody's under a tornado threat today. Wind threat going to be in those areas of that marginal and that slight risk. As you get into the hail threat, that'll be into northern parts of the country. So if you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get right into it. So as we get into our day 2 outlook with the categorical data here, as you can see here in the middle part of the country, we do have a slight risk that's in effect. Tornado risk, not a tornado risk for tomorrow. Wind threat going to be in those areas that are dealing with that marginal severe weather risk and things like that of that nature. Hail threat going to be relatively towards the northern sections of the country. So today, it doesn't look like we're dealing with that much weather today. But we do have this thing to talk about in the Northeast, which is like a summertime nor'easter. They're expecting moderate flash flooding today. This is going to be areas around north of New York City, areas west of Boston. These are areas you got to look out for as you get into your day 2 outlook. That storm system tries to roll on out, but we do end up having a risk of severe weather that's going to pop up around Minneapolis area. That's going to be a slight risk. And as you get to areas southwest of Denver and along the Florida area, you're going to be dealing with a marginal risk of some flooding that's going on here. So today, going to be much like a quieter day today, but I am going to show you the model runs in just a few seconds of what's going on in those areas like Chicago and things like that of that nature. But here's a look at our tropical weather outlook. In the Atlantic, we're not expecting anything in the tropics as we get to the but yeah, today is going to be much of a quieter day across areas of the United States, which is a good thing. Today's flooding, though, we're going to be dealing with that in southern Georgia, areas of central and southern Alabama, to areas of central Mississippi, into areas of Arkansas. You're going to be dealing with that flooding as well. So, very quiet day around Denver. You're going to have a slight risk of flooding today. And we might as well get into our model runs. This video is probably going to be shorter than most videos because there's not much going on today. There still is a risk of severe weather, and I do want to tell you that. 999 millibar, though, as you get into areas of New York, we're going to run that model run there, and as you can see, shower and thunderstorm activity is expected for those areas right there. A lot of rain, a lot of flooding, probably going to have wind gusts. This is like a summertime nor'easter. But a lot of flooding, a lot of things expected in those areas. So as we get to our HRRR model, and I do want to mention in New York and areas like that, you are going to have wind gusts. This is like a summertime nor'easter sort of thing. So just to remind you that wind gust will be possible. Latest HRRR model, this is going to be our 14Z run. We're going to see what's going to happen today around areas of southern Georgia and northern Florida. And as you can see there, we do have shower and thunderstorm activity. As you get into areas, look at the shower and thunderstorm activity as you get to Brunswick, Georgia. Not seeing the risk of tornadoes today. Can't rule out a tornado, to be honest. But strong to severe thunderstorms are probably possible. We might get a severe thunderstorm watch for areas of southern Georgia and northern Florida. Shower thunderstorm activity, as we get to Jacksonville, they sort of die down, but then they kind of skip over, and then you have these showers and thunderstorms that are now near St. Augustine and things like that of that nature, and they're just going to roll on out. So areas south of Jacksonville, you could be dealing with that shower and thunderstorm activity. Areas of Palm Coast near Daytona Beach, some showers and thunderstorms are possible today as well. As we get to our RRFS model, the latest run on that, the 12Z, probably not loaded all the way, but we'll see. But shower and thunderstorm activity, as you get to Jacksonville, there's sort of like a wave where these storms are dying out. And the RRFS says these storms just die out completely after Jacksonville, and then the rain sticks around for Florida. As we get into tomorrow, because the RRFS is showing us tomorrow as well. Tomorrow, those storms start back up again, and that's why we have that marginal risk for areas of Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Dothan, Alabama, as you can see there. And then it's like once they get to Jacksonville, these storms die down, and then they pick back up again areas of Jacksonville. Now we have scattered showers and thunderstorms as far south as Port St. Lucie, Florida. So a lot of shower thunderstorm activity there as we get into those areas. Now, as we get into areas of Georgia, so southern Georgia, remember, if you're in areas of southern Georgia, you have to watch out for this. start as early as Savannah and then going to move southward in that direction. So northern Georgia had all the storms yesterday, and it seems southern Georgia is going to get all the storms today. So if you're anywhere for like the central Georgia area, you really got a little bit lucky, like if you're in certain parts of central Georgia, but now southern Georgia seems to be dealing with these storms. Can't rule out if these storms will start earlier as you get into central Georgia or not, but in southern Georgia, these storms will continue to move southward towards Jacksonville, areas of the low country of the Carolinas. Let's not forget you. As you get into Charleston, you might see a few special weather statements, a few scattered thunderstorms there. But as you can see here with the RFS, we have showers and thunderstorms moving through Mississippi and Alabama. Not going to stick around for long, but then they start back up again once again on Thursday, and then on Friday they try to rinse and repeat again. So this is sort of a pattern we're having here in the southeast, where these storms are going to continue to do the same thing. I'm going to show you the HRRR model, the longer range of that HRRR model, which is the 12Z model run, and see what's going on here. It's probably going to paint the same narrative here, as you can see. And as you can see here, look at this. It's showing the shower and thunderstorm activity. Shower and thunderstorms will continue around Tampa area, forming again and starting more showers and thunderstorms, and then more showers and thunderstorms on Friday. So rinse and repeat for southern Georgia, areas of Alabama, areas of Mississippi, and specifically northern and central Florida, going to be having a repeat of these storm systems. As we get to the northern parts of the country, shower and thunderstorm activity all day today, but a lot of rain expected as you get into Fargo and Sioux Falls. You get towards Minneapolis, and then those storms die down. You are in that brisk, I think, today. Shower and thunderstorm activity, it sort of moves on out here, and then we're just done with that. So, well, that's not the same thread, but it moves on out here. We have shower and thunderstorm activities in your Wednesday, so a few isolated spots, but then as we get into Thursday, which we'll probably might have a higher risk of this on Thursday, to be honest, but we'll see. And then on to Friday, more shower and thunderstorm activities, sort of a line of storms moving across and doing things like that. So sort of a system slowly moving across the next few days is what the HRRR model is showing here. RFS model, what are we showing here for the northern parts of the country here? A lot of flooding. Well, not a lot of flooding. Well, maybe some flooding is possible, but a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity just moving across. Doesn't seem to be as strong as the HRRR model, but we are seeing those storms move in that eastward direction like this, and that's what we're seeing happening to these storms as you get near Chicago. They start to dissipate, but areas of New York, we're going to look at the RFS model here from New York, for New York, and as you can see here, sort of a storm wrapping around. This is not a hurricane or like a tropical storm. It's sort of like a nor'easter, the northerly winds of this storm. We just don't have any snow really accumulating. Normally we see these in the wintertime, bringing a lot of snow for areas like New York, Boston. But it's just a low pressure wrapping around the summertime nor'easter areas of Boston, as you can see there. Shower and thunderstorm activity expected as you move into the eastern areas. And we could be expecting that. A lot of shower and thunderstorm activity that could be going around those areas right there. As we get to our HRRR model, same thing. Going to be seeing the shower and thunderstorm activity as you get to the reds of the area. Reds, yellows. These don't seem to be strong storms, so you might have showers and thunderstorms here and there, but a lot of rainfall will be expected from multiple areas across New England. You can see that wraparound from the south. I'm not sure if that's part of the same system, but look at all the shower and thunderstorm activity as you get into areas of Ottawa, Canada. All these areas of Canada, as you get into Burlington, a lot of flooding is expected. Look at your hazards today. Heat advisories setting up for South Georgia, areas of South and Central Alabama, into areas of majority of Alabama. Extreme heat warnings in effect in isolated spots. Jacksonville, you're under an extreme heat warning as well. Red flag warnings and extreme heat warnings in the west. Some heat advisories in the northern section. It's going to be north of Minneapolis, as you can see there. Bismarck and Pierre, Rapid City. East of that, you're going to be dealing with the heat advisories there in those areas. So high temperatures and flooding expected today. Albany, you are under a flood warning, all in multiple different spots. Flash flood warnings around Albany, New York. As you get to areas, flood watches will remain in effect for areas surrounding that area. I think that's, a coastal? That's a rip current statement for areas of New York that you got to watch out for there. But flood watches A lot of this rain is going to start to exit out, which is a good thing. The flooding will start ending. Denver, you do have flood watches in effect. That is going to be an extreme heat watch in effect for areas of southeastern Utah. So that's something we got to look out for as well. So a lot of heat advisories in southern um, Florida as you get into areas of Miami-Dade County, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, into those areas. And I think this is Collier County, you have a heat advisory for as well. So southern parts of Florida, heat advisories, extreme heat warnings, and heat advisories as you get into the northern and far north central parts of Florida. So that's really going to wrap it up today. I'm going to show you some rainfall going to be here for New York, because if anybody is tuning in from New York here, I'm going to show you the potential rainfall that we have going on, because a lot of rain is expected as you get into areas of New York. This is going to be our total rainfall, and as you can see this storm sort of rotate around. Look at areas south of Albany, New York, 5 inches, but then if you live in Albany, you can get 2 inches over this time accumulating. We don't necessarily know if that's true or not, but just some areas will get more rain than others. So that's what I want to explain. Some areas will get more rain. As you can see here, some areas here getting 5 inches of rain, while the next area gets 1 inch of rain. So it's going to be scattered in some portions, but a lot of areas well defined. The center of low pressure will get a lot of rainfall that's happening with this nor'easter. So that's something, not necessarily nor'easter, but summertime storm system rather, but it's kind of resembling a nor'easter here. But that's going to be from the HRRR model. We can show the RFS, probably going to be around the same data here, but yeah, RFS. Some areas showing 6 inches, but then as you get southward, an area might get 1.5 inches or so. But my name is Michael, here to give you an update on the latest. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you out there in the weather community. And as we're wrapping this up, as you can see, rainfall expected there in areas in the southern part of the country. But my name is Michael. Have a great day and stay safe.